If you're serious about getting into college and you don't have a clear logic behind your essay that aligns with your application narrative, it's highly likely you're going to end up writing an essay that leaves the reader asking, "So what?" and gets you a rejection letter. So in this video, I'm going to give you the exact strategies I use to ensure students' essays stand out to admissions teams without needing years of editing experience or an English degree. The worst thing you can submit is a story without an idea, but I see this all the time. A student writes about a competition, a family gathering, or an extracurricular, and then the essay just ends. Even if the scenes are beautiful and ingenious prose captivates my attention, I finish these essays not knowing anything about whether I'd want this student on campus or as an alum. They spend 650 words detailing the 8 dishes Grandma served last Sunday for family dinner and call it a day. Admissions officers seek evidence of your character, a proven track record of success, your values and achievements, your growth, and they use these metrics to predict if you'll be successful on campus and after graduation. And here's the reality, they're not reading between the lines to help you. They're skimming. So if you just tell a story that doesn't make an admissions argument, you'll get rejected. Let's call an essay with no concept level 0, and we want to be shooting for level 2 or level 3 essays. Level 1 is writing about a vague trait like leadership or communication, often introduced haphazardly or right at the end and not expanding on it. Maybe a student writes about journaling and mental health and concludes with, "This experience taught me the value of self-reflection." Or maybe you open the essay with, "Communication has always been important to me," and tell a story about a service trip where you talked with people from a different country. But again, the essay then just ends. No deeper conclusion, no relation to your goals or growth, no real self-reflection. Top colleges are not impressed by generic revelations that could apply to literally any essay or could be produced by AI. If you write about communication, what specifically about communication is important to you? Overcoming a fear of public speaking, which led to new opportunities like pitching your game at an indie dev conference maybe. Learning to communicate emotionally as a rational thinker, which led to a deeper understanding of your values with your parents. How has your journey changed the way you behave? How has it impacted and bettered the world around you? What's the point? Attempting to incorporate a value or through line is better than the level 0 themeless essay, but an essay that boils down to, "I learned that leadership is important," still sucks. This is probably where most of the essays I work with land at first. The student has an idea of a concept or theme, but doesn't include specifics, changes, or reflection that make the reader care. If level 1 is the leadership is important essay, level 2 is the "I want to uncover uses for AI in radiology because it can quickly and efficiently catch things human can't" essay. Level 2 takes ideas from level 1 and expounds on them to form elevated revelations and ideas that augment your application narrative or argument for acceptance. In these essays, the student understands that they need more than an idea. They're writing an essay designed to generate an offer letter. And to do that, they take one more step when reflecting on lessons and including specifics. For example, "This experience taught me the value of hard work" becomes "Expansion of my comfort zone begot new opportunities, but I learned that consistent exposure to challenges was key for growth. I went to a career fair and learned to network" becomes "Last fall, I gave 50 custom AR business cards that showcased my website to design professionals and gained 3 new clients." Does that make sense? These essays tend not to leave the reader asking, "So what?" but they sometimes read like an activity dump. The results and actions are specific, but they might not support the values the student needs their essay to convey to the admissions team. They're well composed, but not necessarily strategic. Level 3 essays tie everything together. They show initiative with proof, they thoughtfully promote values that fill gaps from the student's overall application, they possess a strong through line, specificity, quantifiable results, emotion, strong writing skills, and profound lessons. These are the essays that get students into schools they otherwise have little hope of getting accepted to. Every word adds value, and every argument is deliberate, building the strongest case that this student will thrive on campus and in their career. These stories are not only told well, they're carefully selected to create the best application possible, taking into consideration everything else in the student's profile, their activities list, grades, achievements, supplemental essays, etc. It is impossible to read a level 3 essay and think, "So what?" So what are some tools I use to ensure students submit their application with a level 3 essay? First, I recommend you assess your entire application and don't write your essay in a vacuum. What traits do you need to convey to the admissions officer through your essay? If your activities list is all about marketing experience and your supplemental essays are about your marketing internships and your letters of recommendation detail what you learned at marketing camp, do you need to quintuple down on the Common App essay in case the admissions team couldn't quite figure out that you had some hands-on experience with marketing? Probably not. What does your essay need to convey? What values and achievements? What growth do you need to show? Then once you have a strategy, brainstorm which stories cover those subjects and get yourself a first draft. Then I recommend you literally ask yourself, so what, at the end of every sentence or paragraph to ensure you're sticking to the script. Is the answer in your essay, or would you have to explain the point to someone reading it for the first time? Of course, you won't have the answer to so what in literally each sentence, nor is that the goal. But you should never have to explain why something in your essay matters to someone unfamiliar with your story. It should be obvious. If you had to, it's not specific enough. Sometimes a good test for this is if you read only the first and last line of each paragraph, does it still make sense? It doesn't apply to every essay, but it can help you identify where the point is unclear. Next, anytime you find yourself writing, "This experience taught me the value of," or "through this, I learned that," cut it and replace it with specifics. What taught you the value of something? What experience? How can you replace that one-word value with something more impactful? It's almost always meaningless to say, "Through this, I learned the value of leadership." Explain what leadership means in this context. Apply it to your life, to other lessons in your essay, to what you're going to do next. Test your specificity by asking if it's possible the admissions officer who reads your essay could confuse it with another essay they read that day. If it's possible, it's not detailed enough yet. If the point of your essay is strong, aligned with your application narrative, and backed by specifics, you can move on to the final check, the quality of your writing. Is it engaging? Do you use unique metaphors and imagery? Could someone else take up writing your essay halfway through without the reader knowing? If so, elevate your prose and work on your storytelling. To learn more about how to make your writing memorable, check out this video and download my free essay introduction guide from the link in the description. I hope you found this helpful, and I'll see you next time.